Hello everyone, this is Vishnu Patekar, CEO of Delighteck. I've been in tech industry for 15 years. So before starting Delighteck, I worked for companies like Nvidia, Continental Automotive, Honeywell, and Mindtree. So today, now consider a situation where you wake up to a situation where you are hired as an IT head of a favorite bakery. So favorite bakery is a local bakery, and what does the management expect from you is a system like Domino's, McDonald's, or Pizza Hut. So how do you do it? And what is a common between Pizza Hut and Domino's is they use AWS. So somehow you got to know that you need to use AWS. Now I might sound an AWS salesperson now, but let's see. So the situation is favorite bakery chain is having 5 to 10 locations. The problems are customer service agents are very expensive in Singapore, especially. You cannot be having a person sitting there and writing emails and WhatsApp and all that, right? So we also want the emails, not just bulk emails, but we want personalized email to be sent to the particular person. And we also want to track which item is famous. We have to entice users to sign up and offer them promotions. Now one more big problem we have is you only have 2 fresh graduates, IT graduates who are okay with front-end applications, and you have 5 to 10 store managers to work with. So what do you do with this, right? So these store managers are very helpful resources because they know the market, they know the offline system. They can help you write good messages and emails. And one disclaimer here is favorite bakery is a fictitious bakery, so any resemblance to any business, real business operating or closed, is just a coincidence. So we will be building a web application with a user journey for this bakery. We can extend this to a different extend it to a mobile application also. So why do we need this, right? So we want to track users, and we want to also track page views of each product. How can we do it is you can use AWS Amplify, Next.js, analytics, and all that. So we will also have a demo. We'll go through what is the AWS Amplify community, and source code and blog link will be shared at the end of the session. So how many of you know AWS Amplify? Okay, how many of you have done at least one production application with Next.js? Let it be your blog. Okay, that's good. So why Amplify? So it's a fastest way to build a full stack application, I would say. So you don't need to write APIs, you just write a GraphQL schema and you are done. You can directly call these APIs from front-end application. Also, you have a full AWS ecosystem you can use in your applications like Lambda functions and SES and SNS, Pinpoint, Lex, whatnot, right? So as you remember, we also don't have a lot of backend engineers, we don't have DevOps engineers, and we don't have a lot of money to spend on EC2 instances as well. So this is, if a bakery makes sense, we can pay. And AWS Pinpoint is a multi-channel marketing tool where you can send emails, SMS, push notifications, all from one place, and you can integrate with your mobile application or web application or backend. So we'll be using AWS Pinpoint as well. So what is a AWS? How do we use it, right? So Amplify is an UI tool as well as a command line tool. I'm not really a fan of those no-code tools where you have to click so many places. So I would rely on command line tool. So first time on a single computer, you need to do Amplify configure. So this is where it will configure your AWS profile. with your secret key, right? And Amplify init is a command to initialize the Amplify project in your so this also has to be done only one time. Suppose you want to connect backend, like you want to write an GraphQL API, REST API, and connect it to your backend, like we can call it as a database like DynamoDB, then you can use add API. In case you want to add authentication to your application, AWS Cognito, you can use add auth. You need to add S3, you can use AWS add storage, including, it will also include what access you need to queue to, whether to add access for authenticated users or non-authenticated users, or even if you have different group of people, you can also add it here. You don't need to write those lot of configurations for S3, right? In case you want to use chatbot, audio interactions, you can use AWS Lex. To use that, you just do Amplify add interactions. Once you are done with your configuration, you can do many times that Amplify push. It doesn't have to be one go. In case you want to add, you want to update any of these services, like for whatever reason, if your social auth Google credentials are changed, you can just do Amplify update auth. In case you want to pull this backend configuration on a new computer or a new developer machine, you can just do Amplify pull application ID and then which environment you want to pull. Okay, let's start with Next.js application. So Next.js is an like server-side rendering React tool or library, you can say. And if you create a default application, this is how it looks like. Now we want to add a backend. For first time, you need to use Amplify init, considering Amplify configure is done already. Now we consider we want to just capture these three things from the user: email, name, and contact number. So we simply do Amplify add API. It will ask for your GraphQL schema. You just paste this GraphQL schema, and we are considering the email as a primary key so that we don't store multiple emails in our database, right? So this is the front-end application. This is how your front-end like favorite bakery application will look like. On left side, you can see there is an Amplify folder which automatically gets generated. The GraphQL APIs like mutations and queries will also get generated. The pages directory is where we have a lot of pages, right? So this is a multi-page application. This is not a single page application like simple React. This is a Next.js. So in app.js, we have to pass the AWS exports configuration and just do simply do Amplify configure and AWS config, right? So AWS exports is the most important file to look into the configurations what we have here. So you can see here we have a region, Cognito details, authentication details. Also you have like social provider, like right now we are using Facebook and Google. We have email attributes and all that. So don't worry, the GraphQL endpoint and API keys and all I have commented, so you cannot be using it. So let's suppose you want to add authentication now, and Amplify add auth. Simply we consider default social authentication we will use, and just do Amplify push, right? So on front-end application, let's say you created a new page called auth.js where you just include this authenticator and import it from the UI React, and this is how it will look like. You can do sign up, sign in with Google, create new account, everything is configured for you. So this is the outcome which we have. So I want you to scan the QR code and play with it. Try to, at least subscribe first, and later you can check whether you get an email or not. Now let's add analytics. Here we'll just simply use Amplify add analytics, and which will in background it will use a Pinpoint as a service, and you simply do Amplify push. So now if you remember, we wanted to create a user journey where we want user to enter their email, name, contact number, and then that's where the journey starts. We will capture this, and now consider this is our use case. Now this is our use case, right? The stranger visits your website, goes to different pages, looks through cakes, looks through buns and all that, all your bakery products, and eventually he decided to subscribe. Once he subscribed, that means his name, it's his or her name, her email ID, right? So once you get an email ID, you send a first email for 25% discount. In case user doesn't open this email for 24 hours, you want to send another email for 50% off coupon, right? And these coupons can be dynamically generated. Now this configuration you can done it on the backend, right? On the front end side, you have to capture these details and update the endpoint. So here the Pinpoint endpoint, Pinpoint channel is an email. We can have push notification, phone number, SMS, and all those. But here we are capturing this data from this form and passing it to analytics endpoint. We are saying that this is the endpoint, email is the endpoint, name and store the name and contact number for this email. And on the Pinpoint side, you add, if you remember, on the last line we have analytics record, and this records an event. We can give our custom event name here, so where we have given it as subscribe to favorite bakery. Now we have set up this event, and we selected a first template, and then we wait for 1 hour. If user opens email, then do nothing. If user do not open email, then send them another 50% discount code. And this is the data we captured from the attributes.name. These attributes comes from the front end part. That's the form where we have collected and updated the endpoint. Now on the favorite bakery Pinpoint side, we can see here our analytics data, how many endpoints, how many people visited, and all that, right? We just started this application 2 days back, so there is no 7-day retention rate here. Now we also have to count which product people are viewing most, correct? For example, people can view only cake, right, or bun, right, or any other thing, right? So you can see here we just have to call this record page view from a page whichever you want to record page view for. And this record page view function, we will just do like analytics.autotrack. We ask analytics to auto track page views, and the event name is page view. We pass the URL of that page, and for now testing purpose, we just sent. We don't want to record all the page views. We just want to record a page view where users spend at least 4 seconds or 20 seconds there. So for testing purpose, we have set it as 4 seconds on the application which you scan the QR code for. The Pinpoint analytics, this is where you check, you go to the analytics and then events, from events, you can just select the page view. You select the URL, and you can just look for the different URLs for the pages, and you will see the page views. These are few of the screenshots we have. And for example, here initially it will allow you to go to the product, and if you want to buy, it will ask for sign in. Once you sign in, it can allow you to add to your cart. And once you are done with the cart, you can also check out. This checkout is a dummy part, so it's yet to be updated. You cannot, don't tell me that the addition of these 3 items is not $262. This is just a dummy. Now we want to deploy this with Amplify. So you just go to Amplify, connect GitHub repository, and then it will automatically start build process, and once it's built, it will deploy. And later you have to connect your CloudFront URL to your domain. And about the Amplify community, so there was an instance where whenever we do Amplify push, the email settings for the email marketing channel like Pinpoint were getting disabled. So I had just tweet to AWS to the Amplify community, and then say within 15-20 days this got fixed. So you don't have this problem anymore. And if you want to get involved with the Discord community, you can just look for Amplify and you are in. So this is also published as a blog article, right? So it's a 4-part series where you can find the QR code next. So on the right side, you can just scan the QR code, and at the bottom of the screen you will see there is a link to the blog. And if you want to know more about me, you can just scan code on the QR code on the bottom left side. This is simply www.vishnupatekar.com. Yeah, there is an issue with this redirect. It is not redirecting HTTPS to www. I'll have to look into it. So we use this presentation templates. Yeah, the credit goes to them. Thank you so much.